Hello crafters, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today I want to show you how I made this really cool 5x7 card, and it's not just a standard 5x7 card, no, it's actually a 5x7 easel card. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can actually show you how this looks. And I love it. This is my Valentine's card for hubby, and I hope you can see it well there and that it's all in shot. I think it is. I think I just have it all in. This card is a fun card. It's on a wobbler, and this is the face of hubby. Now you can see hubby there in the little image that I've put on my newspaper. So he has long beard. He's dark haired, but his beard is white. And I did make a lighter beard for this card, but it just didn't look right. So I've gone with the same color, but I do love this. You've got room in here to write your message, or you can just pop a message on the back. It's up to yourself. I haven't put Happy Valentine's Day on this, so you could actually stamp Happy Valentine's Day, do mats and layers on the back, stamp Happy Valentine's Day, or on your wedding day, or on your birthday, whichever occasion you're using it for, and put your message on the back. But I think there's enough room in there to say, hello love, Happy Valentine's Day, I love you. So we've used lots of products that I have in my stash for this. The majority is Made to Surprise from Craftstash. You can use whatever you have in your stash to make this. Your newspaper could be a piece of rectangular white cardstock. Score it down the middle and then just kind of scallop out a little bit, you know, give it a little bit of shape if you want to do your newspaper. And I will go through all the products that I used to make this card, but there's a link down in the description to the products that I've used for this card. They're affiliate links, some of them. You won't be charged any extra. It just gives me a kickback and helps me to buy the lovely products that I share on my channel. So let's have a look at how we're going to make this really cool easel style card. So the products I'm going to use for this card, and you can use, like I've said, whatever you have in your stash. I'm using these pointed arch dies. They're from Amazon, and you can check out down below. I'll have a list and some links for what I'm using. I'm using the beautiful Ink Drops Midnight pattern paper. These are from Craft Consortium, and I love these pattern papers. I'm also going to use a stamp from the Creative Life by Kate Skilton, and I'm using the I Followed My Heart, It Led Me to You. I'm also using, I use the tiny little butterfly in this Papercraft Society box 15 stamp. So again, anything that you have in your stash, but that was for on the newspaper. And let's see what else. I used this tiny little leaf here on my newspaper, Papercraft Society box 42. And I'm just listing, you know, what I used in case you have these in your stash. I used the Hey, Have I Told You I Love You? That's the Hey You A5 stamp set from Made to Surprise. And that was on my newspaper. I used the stamps here from the Bringing Gifts stamp and die set, again on my newspaper. Now I also used the hair from this Smiles and Happiness die set for my little man. I used the newspaper here from the Pop-Up Edition set. I've also used the beard from the Because I Care die set. I used that beard there, and as you've seen in the card, I just partially die cut it out. You can see the beard here. I just brought my cutting plate to about just under the lip, and then I freehand cut the rest of the beard. As you'll have seen in the newspaper, my hubby has quite a long and square cut off beard. So yeah, that's the beard. And I used pencils. I used a pencil, just an ordinary lead pencil, to give the hair texture on the beard. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all the products I use. Like I said, I'll have a full list down below in the description, and yeah, go there for links, etc. So let's have a look. The first thing I took was a piece of cardstock. Now, this was originally a piece of 10 by 7 card with a matching envelope. And what I did was I cut it in half to give me a 5 by 7 top folding card, because I want that for my easel style. Now you can take a piece of 5 by 7 and a piece of 5 by 7.5, and then on the long end score it at a half, and you could join the two together at the top, and that will give you a top fold 5 by 7. I took my arch die and I laid it on the front, and I opened my card base and I laid it down. I put my cutting plate to about here near the end, and I put it through my die cutting machine, and that then gave me a partial die cut arch. I found the middle here of my long end, and I put a score on both these sides, so when it sits up like so, my arch will point up. I also took my arches and I made a little frame using the same die that cut this one out and one size smaller. Again, you can use any die you have in your stash, a rectangle, a square, whatever you like. I've put foam on the back of this. I want to raise it up, and that's going to sit over the front like that, just for a bit of dimension, and it also finishes the cut end down here. I've taken the next size down, so the die that cut out the inside of my frame, I've taken that to cut out my pattern paper. So that'll go on here, and then my frame will go over the top of that. Again, I took my die cut for my newspaper. There is openings on it that you can ink blend. So I ink blended it with a pink color. I didn't like it, so I went over it with a reddish color. I think it's Barn Door. And then I took a red Spectrum Noir marker and went around the outside of that. And then I just stamped the images and popped them on. The Have I Told You I Love You, that one I inked up to this point on the stamp and stamped it down. Then I cleaned the stamp and inked up the You I Love You so I could move it down. You could cut your stamp if you wanted, but I didn't at this time. And then I just took an image. This was a picture we took at Christmas time to send the family on Christmas Day, just to wish them a happy day and have a nice time. And I've cropped it down a little bit. So yeah, it's a recent picture. So that, as you know, will sit down here like that, and that'll be my stopper because I have some foam pads on the back, so the middle will be propped up, but I'm going to I have these just curved up a little bit so it'll hold our easel. I cut off as well a piece of pattern paper here. I'm going to, you see the way the edge, I hope you can see, is white. It's a white core. Well, I like to take my Memento marker, any marker, and I find a brush tip end the best, but you can use any marker you have. I'll just go along the edge of the pattern paper like that, and it takes away the white core, and I think it makes the pattern paper pop a little bit more. So I'll just go all along the edge. If this was a pink piece of pattern paper, you could take a pink marker. Because it's a dark color, I've gone with a black marker. So this is the piece, this is the side I want facing up. So I will have the face pointing away from me when I do the marker, because if your marker slips, it'll mark this side. So make sure the piece, the face of the pattern paper that you want up, that is facing away from you. So it'll just sit better now. I think it gives a cleaner look, and I'm just popping that down there because it's picking up our pattern paper. And I think it just ties the whole thing together. Then I have my stamped piece. I followed my heart, it led me to you. I just fussy cut around that. I'm going to pop that there with my face up here. And I have a wobbler. And my wobbler is going to go behind my face, so it'll have a bit of a wobble on it. Now, I'm going to show you how I did my ink blending. So I have a piece of cardstock that I laminate, and I put that down. But I recently got the sticky mat. It's for the Altenew stamping wheel platform, and what I did was I stuck it onto my Tim Holtz. Now the Tim Holtz comes with, you know, it has a front piece that sits on there and closes over. I don't use this, I use the craftstash one. I have a couple of misty ones as well. So yeah, I did my ink blending on here, and I just left it on there so you could see. And it's brilliant because your piece of paper, if you press it down, it'll stick down and then you can do your blending. So it's great rather than holding it and getting your fingers on it. So that's what I've done with that. I kept the beard die just to show you that if you put it on a piece of cardstock and die cut so far down, you can then freehand around the bottom. And I had, this is a piece that I did in white, and I did some ink blending around it, but I wasn't gone on it because I had done the hair in the brown card and I didn't feel they matched. But you can take a white piece, do some ink blending if you don't want to use a colored cardstock, and use that instead. So I've all my bits die cut out for my little face. I've got to glue that all together. And for the cheeks, a lot of time you'll see people will use a pink or a very pale pink. I use the tattered rose to go around my face piece. And then what I've done is I've taken one of the craftstash little brushes. These come in a pack, and I've used that because I find picking up the tattered rose color gives a lovely finish to taking a light pink. Sometimes a lighter pink color can really pop and be in your face. So yeah, just a trick using the tattered rose if you're using that to give a little bit of definition around the face, and you can see where I've added that on there. So now that's all the pieces and parts. I'm going to go ahead now and assemble the card, and yeah, come back to you once I'm done. I'm going to assemble my hubby or my mic or my changing faces, whatever you'd like to call it. And I'm just speeding quickly now through the assembly, and because I think if you have the changing faces, you're pretty familiar with how they are assembled. I just took eyes from one face and the hair from another and the beard from another. I really mixed and matched up this face for hubby. I'm going to add the wobbler to the back, and I'm kind of trying to keep it to the middle so it's balanced when it's stuck down. Now I'm going to take the release paper off my double-sided foam tape and add that in. I had a little bit of mucky moo going on the back of the card, so I used my eraser to take that off. I'll add in this beautiful Craft Consortium pattern paper. It's so lush, so lush. I'll put down my newspaper, which is the stopper for my Easel card, and then a little strip at the bottom. This could really be embellished so much more. I know for hubby, he wouldn't really be bothered whether I did or not, so I didn't. I'm also going to put some accent glaze on the pupil of the eyes and a little bit on the nose. I'll put a couple of drops around the front of the card and use my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen around as well, just to embellish it a little. So there we go. There is our lovely masculine make for our Valentine's card. You could embellish it more, but I think it's for a man, so I'm not inclined to do any more with it. You have got room up here to put your message, which I will do for hubby, but if you wanted more of a message, you could you know, put your message on the back. You could emboss this front panel if you wanted. I didn't like the idea of doing that. And if you don't like the way your arch is sitting, you could always add a piece of cardstock behind it up to the score line. And I think I like the idea of doing that and just having it cut down, you know, as far as the score line is. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put a white piece on here and add that in. But like I said, you don't need to do it. It sits perfectly fine. But for me, I'm going to do that. So when you're doing some die cutting with yours, you could just do a partial die cut, then die cut out the whole arch and stick that on in the front, and then you would have the full piece. But I'm just going to go and get a piece of cardstock, white card, and stick it on there. Now I feel that sits much better. I much prefer that. I hope you can see. So now I've just have my piece of cardstock, and it will take a little minute to dry, but I think it just sits much better on there. So I love this. I hope you like it too. I know I did an awful lot of things, you know, off screen. I die cut everything out and everything, but I think it made it for a quicker video. You can embellish your little newspaper how you like, do your face how you like. It was just giving you the basic idea. You can take an arch die or a rectangle or whatever you have in your stash to make a really cute you know, Valentine's Day. And although this doesn't say Valentine, like Happy Valentine's Day on it, I still think it does represent Valentine's Day. But this could easily be news, happy birthday, you know, and happy birthday down here. You could use this for any occasion. And you could actually double this size up. You could make a 10x7 card, and you could have a bride and groom. You know, you could do the whichever, the bride and bride or the groom and the groom. I think this would make for a cool idea for, you know, for a wedding card even. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, links and everything are down below, and measurements for the card base and the piece of cardstock I've used. But yeah, so that's it. I'm going to leave it there, folks. I hope you've enjoyed my video. And if you have, you might join me next time. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have, you might give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel Blonde Cards and Crafts, and ding the bell. That way you'll be notified next time I post a new video. You can share your makes with me on my Facebook group called Your Cards and Crafts. And if you'd like to help support my channel, you can click the super thanks button down below. That will help my channel. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and bye for now.